Welcome to the Jacob Johnston Show. As always, before we get into the video, please note that this is just a highlight overview of the topics and conversations that I have on the audio version of the podcast. So don't forget to subscribe to that wherever you subscribe to podcasts. Also, if you're watching this over on YouTube, go ahead and check the links in the description below and watch this video over on Rumble instead. Let's support free speech platforms instead of funding the left's ability to attack us. Okay, so let's get right on into this. Aliens, UFOs. We seem to be hearing a lot more and more about unidentified flying objects or unidentified aerial phenomenons. Now, this is a conversation that used to only be had by tinfoil hat wearing people, and now we are seeing it gain more and more traction in the news. And of course, because the Pentagon is coming out and saying, yes, we're going to release a report on flying objects that are operating in a manner that we cannot explain, that seemingly defies the laws of physics, and that for which we cannot determine how they're even moving, what their propulsion system is. And you even have people such as former President Obama coming out and saying, yes, these unidentified aerial phenomenons are real. We don't know what they are, and they are moving in ways that we cannot explain. And you also have other people in the military coming out. And so we have all these conversations where the government is seemingly coming out and saying, yes, UFOs are actually real. We've been tracking them for years, and we've had a lot of encounters with them. Now, as this is going on, if all of this is true and, hey, we have found life, alien life forms have come and visited us. We've made countless movies about this, about alien life coming and finding alien life, whether it's us traveling to another planet in a distant future or aliens coming here. Hey, remember that movie Independence Day? All right. So we have all this information that is coming out. And then I read this article from The Blaze, and they asked a very interesting question. Hey, the government is seemingly coming out and confirming that, hey, UFOs are real. We have unidentified flying objects without any explanation for how they're moving, what their propulsion system is, or how it is they're moving the way they are moving in a manner that seemingly defies the laws of physics as we know it. So why is this not dominating the headlines? Why is this not on the front page of every major news outlet? And that is an interesting question, and a question that raises suspicions. Now, while there's a lot of people getting hyped up, yes, they're about to reveal, hey, we've made contact with an alien civilization. They're about to reveal that and how long they've been in that. Hey, maybe we'll finally get the truth about Roswell, New Mexico and Area 51. All right, there's a lot of hype about that, but you got to start wondering about some of this, and the way in which it's being reported, the selective wording that they are using. And so, yes, I mean, if UFOs are real, this would be the biggest story, not of our lifetime, but in human history. And it's not dominating the front page. So either the journalists, the so-called journalists, are ignoring purposely the biggest story in the history of mankind because they're too focused on partisan politics and trying to spin the news and focus on the 2022 election, or they may have some inside information, at least some outlets do, that we don't, about how we are going to be largely disappointed. Now, let's take a look at some of the selective wording that we have gotten when government officials have come out and talked about these unidentified aerial phenomenons. As reported by the Daily Wire, head of Pentagon UFO office, government in possession of exotic materials from mysterious vehicles? Yes, and as they're getting released, everyone's expecting this to be like the X-Files. The government actually does have the X-Files. So, exotic materials from mysterious vehicles. And it goes on to say, when asked whether the government is in possession of physical evidence of advanced technology, I'm going to totally butcher this name, Elizondo told Carlson that he believed it was true that military investigators collected exotic materials. Is there debris or materials from any of these vehicles, Carlson asked. The United States government is in possession of exotic materials, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, so what does this mean? Now, you understand that he is selectively using his words, going off and saying exotic materials. And he's using words like, I believe. So he's making statements that he cannot actually corroborate himself, that he has not actually seen. He's just saying he believes, or he believes, or she believes. I forget. I didn't really care too much about the name of this Pentagon official. I'm just focused on the statement. So they believe it was true, which means they have not seen it themselves. While saying we have recovered exotic materials. And then the question becomes, well, what's the definition of exotic materials? And then also, the United States government is in possession of exotic materials, and I'll leave it at that. What's the definition of exotic materials? And his statements make it clear that he has not seen it himself. He's just saying he believes. Now, that is one thing, that they're just speculating on this. Now, the other possibility is that it hasn't been completely declassified, and so the wording has to be chosen carefully to lead us into a particular direction without violating classification rules, without releasing classified information. So there's two ways to interpret this. This person is just trying to get their 15 minutes of fame, making claims and wording it and making it clear they haven't seen it, versus wording it carefully to avoid violating classification so he doesn't end up in prison before the information is declassified, and therefore maybe that's why the wording is chosen carefully. Okay. And by the way, UFOs doesn't mean aliens. I mean, heck, why can't it just be time-traveling archaeologists from Earth's future? Just wanting to see how things operate, trying to get the truth about history in some sort of objective fashion. Hey, why not? If we're going to be talking about aliens, then we have to open the door for everything to be true. And we get these headlines here, and then you wonder why the media is not dominating this in most of their news coverage, why this isn't front page. Well, while some on the internet are getting very excited about the report coming up, I have to wonder, if this is being overhyped. One, even if all of this was true and that we do have evidence of UFO and we are in possession of a UFO and advanced alien technology, I really don't trust the government to actually reveal that information to us. I don't expect them to be honest. I expect some sort of cover-up, if that were to be true to begin with. But maybe there's other explanations. Maybe, just maybe, this is all part of a psychological experiment, right? Trying to determine information disseminated through traditional media versus information scattered all across social media, and trying to see how gullible the American people are, or how gullible the world is. Releasing information, with very selective wording in order to see if we can be manipulated into believing something. So this could be just one huge psychological test. That is one possibility. The other is this is the biggest bombshell in human history. And that they are using this, study in a psychological test in order to create a report to justify more social media censorship. And of course, they won't discount the people who are taking this and using it for jokes, comedy, and just having fun discussions about the what ifs. They'll take those people and lump them in with people actually being serious and, believers of UFOs. But we have to wonder, with the information that's being released and the underreporting and underhyping of this, it just, something is not adding up here. And I just believe that those who are going off and getting excited about the revelation of UFOs are going to be vastly disappointed. The explanation we're going to get and the declassified version of the report is not exactly going to be X-Files here. All right, let's just be honest here. It's fun to talk about, and they're giving us plenty of a reason to talk about it. Another thing is maybe all of this is just to create a distraction. A distraction from the dumpster fire that is the Biden administration. Although, one would assume that if this was just a distraction from the dumpster fire that is the Biden administration, that the left-wing media would be going along with this full-heartedly in order to provide that distraction. But maybe, as discredited, fake, and full of crap 99% of the media is, this may even be a bridge too far. They could go as far as transgenderism, but UFOs and aliens might be a bridge too far to which they don't even believe they can maintain credibility talking about it. So when they do bring it up, it means they're either going to go, this is what the government's focusing on. Okay, aliens, UFOs, as if we have nothing important to do, or just poking fun at it. Okay. So, this is my 2 cents on it. I just don't have any confidence that we're going to get the big bombshell that people are hoping we get from this. And I'm more along the lines of this could be more of a psychological test to see how easy it is to manipulate the American people, to which the Democrats would use in order to make it easier for them to gaslight the country for election victories. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give me the thumbs up. Leave some comments down below. Share this around on social media. Let me know what you think. Are you thinking we're getting ready for the biggest bombshell in human history? Or do you think this is a psychological test or a distraction? Let me know. Thank you so much, and I will be back again soon.